This is why chess is one of the most brutal games ever. Magnus Carlsen is playing black, and Gukesh is playing white. Magnus was winning for about 4 hours, but in the last couple of minutes of the game, Gukesh has fought back and is almost drawing the game. Now, Magnus decides to go for broke, and he sacrificed his extra pawn with d5. Gukesh takes it, which allows Magnus to create a skewer attack. What Magnus was hoping for is that if Gukesh moves the knight somewhere, there's a discovered check, knight h5. This wins the rook, and Magnus is now winning the game. But with only a few seconds left, Gukesh in this position found the only move that keeps the game going, rook f2 check. The point is, if king e3, knight takes d5, puts the skewer back into a pin, and now white's better, so Magnus had to play king e1. But now Gukesh plays knight d7, allowing the discovered check. But there's a difference. Because the rook is one file down, after Gukesh takes the knight and Magnus takes the rook, Gukesh has extra moves such as knight e5, threatening a fork and getting 2 passed pawns, and now white is winning. The tide is slowly starting to turn. Magnus with only 47 seconds left. After playing for 4 hours of chess, instead of moving the rook, decides to take a huge risk and sacrifices his own piece, knight e2 check. His rook is under attack and he decides to check the king. Gukesh does an in-between move, rook takes e2 check, essentially winning a free knight. But Magnus willingly went into it as a gamble. His plan was to promote the pawn into a queen. Now, can you find what Gukesh did to beat Magnus here? You can't just push your pawn because Magnus's pawn is actually faster, and this position is probably going to be a draw. The knight on f8 is actually much faster than it looks. So Gukesh plays knight e6. Chasing the pawn down, Magnus plays d3, and now Gukesh plays knight c5. The trick is, Gukesh is going to let Magnus queen. If he plays d2, there's knight e4 attacking the pawn, and if Magnus queens, there's a fork, and after the trade, Gukesh is going to win because his pawns are faster, and the king is too far away. So Magnus actually found a way to keep the game going. He plays king e3, trying to stop this knight e4, knight c3, and now Gukesh found the only move that wins. It's not knight takes d3 because now it's a race. White needs 4 moves, black needs 4 moves, and it'll be a draw. Instead, Gukesh found knight a4 coming from the side. The idea is that Magnus has spent so much time promoting that by the time he gets there, Gukesh will have promoted his pawn or stopped Magnus's pawn. Magnus is in deep trouble. So instead of playing d2, he decides to play e4 and maybe try to promote this pawn. Gukesh promotes his pawn with h5, and after king d2, we have another race. But the problem for Magnus is that his king actually gets in the way of his pawns, while the king is also supporting the pawns. So Gukesh plays knight b2, a beautiful move. After e3, knight c4 check. The king and the pawns, they trip over each other. Now the king has to go to e2, and Magnus is ready to promote. He's actually faster than Gukesh. But unfortunately, Gukesh finds the win with king f4. This leads Magnus to do this. And he just resigned.
Oh my god!
Clearly, you can see the emotions running high as Magnus is mostly upset at himself for allowing this, and Gukesh can't believe what just happened. And Magnus indeed does apologize to Gukesh, showing some good sportsmanship at the end. Chess is brutal.